So, some of you guys are wondering, what is Babylon's Fall all about? And this is just a closed beta, so they're still taking feedback, which I actually think was a really good idea for them to do a closed beta so that people could actually get their hands on it, try it out, stream it so that people could actually watch. So as you can see, I've actually played a significant chunk of time. I think it was like, was it 6 hours yesterday? Close to 6 hours. We're currently... that's not actually our level. The value 42, that's our item level. Our actual level is level 7. Then there's a race, a Gavian. That just kind of changes like an ability in the game. But let's actually just jump into the game so that I can show you guys a couple of things. In terms of character creator, let me tell you right now, I did not really like it very much. I thought the character creator was not particularly good, but that's just one man's opinion. So, here's what the game looks like. The structure of Babylon's Fall is very similar to the structure of Dauntless, which is basically you have this hub. It's an online hub. There's going to be other players around here. As you can see, there's James, there's Storm Animal, there's Ryan over here. These are all players. And I don't know if there's like multiple lobbies, what the deal is with that. I haven't really tested that extensively. But you get to run around town. But in this particular beta, you don't get to do much in the town itself because you see this guy looks like someone who would help you like craft and stuff because he's by the forge. He actually doesn't do anything right now. There's a dude over here who will sell you like stuff like gear and whatnot, this Pygmalion guy. And that's pretty much it. Then there's this, which is your quest board. And then there's like a leaderboard for players, right? But now you guys are wondering, okay, so what does this game do differently? Babylon's Fall is developed by Platinum Games. And as you guys may know, I'm a big fan of Platinum Games. You know, these are the same people who brought you Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising, Vanquish, Wonderful 101, as well as other titles. I'm sure that I'm missing like probably much more well-known titles. The one that really got me was Vanquish, to the point where I was just like in love with Platinum after playing Vanquish because they just do crazy stuff that is completely over the top, right? That's one of the problems with this demo. There's not that much stuff that is over the top, which is kind of like the signature, Nier, of course, which is the signature stuff of what Platinum Games is known for. They're known for their over-the-top cinematic set pieces. And there's not a whole lot of that in this game. And I realized that one of the reasons behind that, if we open up our equipment here, which is, as I will explain the different mechanics and whatnot, one of the reasons as to why there aren't that many set pieces in this beta is because this is the thing, the Gideon Coffin, this is supposedly the thing that enables you to do big boss finishers. That's not active, which means we can't actually see the ridiculous over-the-top stuff that Platinum is known for. Therefore, when you see the gameplay, because we will jump into gameplay, you'll notice that it's like, okay, this looks very tame for a Platinum Games type of deal, right? But anyways, how does the game actually work? You'll notice that you have these 4 weapon slots in which you equip your weapons, and each of them has like a specific button prompt. So this is your square slot, your triangle slot, your R2 slot, and your L2 slot. And the way that it works is you equip weapons to these slots, and depending on where you equip them, they will behave differently with the exception of the L2 and R2. These will basically behave the same way. So L2 and R2, think of them like special attacks. So right now, one of my special attacks is a shield. The other special attack is a staff. And my basic attack is a bow, and my heavy attack is a sword. So if I was to put the sword on the square prompt, the actions that the sword would do would actually be different than the ones that it does on triangle. Same thing for the bow. If I was to put the bow on the triangle or any other weapon on the triangle, it will do a different action, because these are different attacks. And so this is like the build that I've cooked up for myself. Then you also have armor pieces. These affect like your stats and stuff, just like any kind of like stat loot driven game. And all of this influences like your power level, which determines how powerful you are. And it does the Destiny thing of the higher your item level is, the higher the item level of the loot that you will get is. But the unique aspects of the game are basically this. You get your 4 weapons, and these weapons are going to give you different movesets, and this kind of like becomes your build. And then you just want to have armor that maximizes that stuff. I haven't really min-maxed to that level because this is just a beta, and it doesn't make sense to like completely spend that much time obsessing over, oh, I need to min-max literally everything. So let's go over here and actually queue for a dungeon so that I can show you guys what that looks like. We're going to go with my active quests. They have this boost thing here, which I'm assuming eventually you'll be able to put boosters on because this is going to be heavily monetized. I suspect that this game is going to be free to play most likely. This is going to be very similar to like a Warframe or something like that. And they're probably going to sell you all kinds of boosters that you'll be able to activate. That's my prediction anyways. I don't know exactly if that's their plan or not. So in this particular beta, what we have available to us is these 3 levels. These are 3 different unique levels. These are not procedurally generated. These are just like, you know, these are levels that you can go and you can play through them. And the 3 levels after that, so these ones, are basically copies. So Eridu Street is basically the same thing as Shwana Street. And then whichever this one is, Coronation Square is the exact same thing as Triumphal Square. The only thing that changes is that the enemies in there are stronger. But again, this is the beta, so they maybe have just done these 3 levels. And the thing is, these levels are not really amazing to look at to begin with. As a matter of fact, like if we were to talk about visuals just like real quick, I think the game looks terrible. I'm sorry. Like, I've tried looking at it from an artistic standpoint and all of these different things because I realized, oh, we want the game to look like an art painting, so we put these filters on it. And it's like, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but the game just looks like ass, okay? It looks terrible. Like this, I don't know if it's me, like somebody can tell me, oh no, I actually really like the art style. I think that Babylon's 4 art style is really gorgeous, and I think that you just don't recognize what the artistic design. Sure thing, dude. Looks terrible to me as far as, like, if I could turn off all of the filters that they've put on this, and also let me tell you right now that on the stream, these filters will actively make these games stream worse. Particularly the level that we're about to go to, I'll be surprised if you can make out anything that is happening throughout the action. But, you know, that's the level that I have to go to because that's the highest level. And, you know, since I'm doing my impressions on it, I might as well go to the hardest level in the game. Accept quests. Boom. Now, when you accept the quest, you can't actually leave on the quest solo. At least in the beta, the way that it works is you do like this and then you ready up. And sometimes you'll go solo. Sometimes some people will join you. But in the beta, you really don't have any control over it. So like if I wanted to just depart on the quest, I can't. I have to wait. As you can see, it says right there that I'm ready, but I have to wait. The game is trying to match me up with more people, although considering this is the 2nd day of the beta, I highly doubt that I'll be able to match up with people. I like that. Sorry about that. Actually, no, I'm not sorry about that. Screw that. That was good. I appreciated that. As I was saying, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm still waiting to see if I'm gonna get matched up with somebody. Here we go. It matched us up. Xeon Wired, thank you very much for making 5 people grossly incandescent. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Thank you very much, dude. All right. Oh, actually, it didn't match me up with anyone. I thought I had been matched up. Okay, so looks like we're going to be doing this solo. So the first thing that you'll notice is that we have weapons on our backs. That is to signify, like, all of the weapons that we have equipped. As you can see, we have 2 swords, we have a bow, and we have my shield. So the way that this works is, like I said, I put the bow on my square. So basically, if I just, like, press square, that's going to shoot my bow. Oh my god, why are all the epic bows so bad? All of the epic bows are terrible. But okay, the way that the bow works is like this. It just does these 4 hits, and then it does a final hit. If you interrupt the hits of the bow with a triangle attack, it will swap the sword and do a special attack. Like I said, if you spam triangle, you're going to get sword attacks And that's pretty much like your bread and butter of the combat is choosing when to use the bow, when to use the sword. In case you guys are wondering why I'm using bow and sword, that is because bow is excellent at generating energy. You guys see on the top left-hand side, you will see that there's a yellow bar, that's our health, and there's a red bar. The red bar is what allows you to charge up for special attacks. So if you guys remember, we had a staff on L2, so if I press L2, that's going to bring out the staff and it shoots that fireball. That does a lot of damage. I can charge that L2. And you can keep charging it. And then when you release, that fireball right there actually deals somewhere in the vicinity of like 8,000 damage, because balance for this beta, they just said to themselves, you know what? Let's balance all the weapons except the staff, okay? The staff is just going to make ridiculous amounts of damage, and it is what it is. And then on the R2, I have the shield. The way the shield works, it brings up a shield, and you can just keep the shield up, and then you can just like attack. And this will be blocking attacks from enemies. Now, blocking attacks from enemies doesn't mean I won't take damage. I still will take damage, but I won't take as much damage. So let's actually go through the level. Now, as solo, I might not go through the whole level because the game really is designed for multiplayer. And as solo, most of the levels actually end up being complete slogs, and I don't want to bore you guys too much. I just want to show you guys some gameplay so that you guys can see. Now, we picked up a chest here. You'll notice we picked up a couple of relics, some greens, some whites. Think of it as the color coding of generic, any generic RPG that you've played. You get a green item that's uncommon. There's also blue items, which are rares, and then there's epic items, which are purple, right? It's the traditional stuff. Now, the enemies are pretty much in arenas, so this was like a navigation spot, but up here, there's going to be an arena. The second I enter there, we're going to start the action, and I'm going to be, killing enemies. Now, as you can see right here, it says Chapter 1, and basically with the bow, I can kind of just like break the game because it enables me to constantly strafe. You can press R1 to dodge, and I can also just go up to them and start hacking away. I'm going to put my shield up. This is going to block attacks and just let me like slash away at them with reckless abandon. But the best way of actually going about things, from what I've noticed in yesterday's stream, is you just bring up this staff ability, you charge it up, and then you unload on somebody, and it's like, boom, that's just 7,000 damage right there. That dude just straight up died. Aw, they pushed me out of my shield thing. That was terrible. See, if they hadn't, I would be getting like damage bonuses for being on top of that little platform thing. Now, there's perfect dodging, but you really don't need to worry too much about that. As you can see, I can just like dodge perfectly, no problem, but you don't really get too much of a benefit. Now, you can be charging the staff and attacking at the same time, and you can dodge, and you can even put up the shield at the same time too. Boom, that'll deal 8,000 damage. And while I'm in here, oh damn it, I should have stayed inside with the bow. But while you're inside that thing, you get buffs and whatnot. That's why I'm trying to stay inside the actual arena. If they go away, you can just like shoot them. You get loot, you get coins and stuff. And I'm actually dealing pretty good damage, so I should be able to finish this level. But if you come to this level without having really good gear, which I guess by now I have pretty decent gear, it would take you a long time to finish the level. So let me actually charge up my staff and do like one more big hit. And now let's actually try to stay inside the circle, because that's going to buff our damage. You don't have to charge the staff all the time. We can throw like a couple of fireballs off and just deal like 600 damage instead of 7,000. But like, you've seen about 80% of the gameplay experience that's available in this beta, It's just like you go in here, you kill these dudes. This guy's got a marking, so he's going to be more powerful than the rest of them. Then there's obviously bosses at the end of most levels, and bosses are going to have more health. They're going to have tactics and stuff like that. Okay, ooh. And these guys are dead. Ooh, loot an epic item. Now, the epic items are not random. Like the other items, like the greens and whatnot, those are random. This one is, it's an actual epic that you get, which in this case is the Flame Cyclone, which is the same sword that we already have. But it's like, just from this, you can kind of see what the gameplay experience is like. Now, there's some navigation bits in between each of the levels. You get 5 potions, which you guys can see on the lower left-hand side. You guys will see the potions that I have available to me. Sometimes during the levels, you'll find like chests and whatnot. You get ranked at the end of each fight. Is this the one that the tower gets hit? Okay, this actually has a bit of a set piece where this tower gets hit by a rock, and then it falls over. And now it's going to shift the ground. The thing is, they just put an invisible wall over here that doesn't actually let you move until the animation finishes. And then here, there's a little bit of navigation trickery. You actually have to do a couple of jumps, and then you're supposed to use a grappling hook right here. Don't get hit by those. But yeah, and now over here, there's going to be like a bunch of enemies that are going to spawn. Because, like I said, I've done this level multiple times. Levels don't change. Levels are not procedurally generated. I don't know if they intend to have procedurally generated levels in the final thing. So that will remain to be seen. But yeah, this is why I play the bow right here. See? You can stay at range from inside the circle and just like strafe around enemies and just deal a bunch of damage. And then you can charge your staff while you're doing it, which is pretty busted, and you just destroy everything. So it's like ranged weapons in this game, in my opinion, are way more powerful than melee weapons. I just use melee weapons for fun, but in reality, what you really want is like bows and staves, and they will just like shred everything. Even that dude had a shield a couple of seconds ago, and now he doesn't. Boo, 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 boo. To the point where I actually think that you should probably even rock just like 2 bows, and that will actually work better. I don't know what this red thing is. I think it's a buff that's caused by one of my weapons. But I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's not bad for me. I think it will get boring quickly, or am I wrong? You are not wrong. Like, the reason that it was entertaining for me yesterday was because I was still trying to find out what was the most powerful combination that I could come up with. Once I figured out what was the most powerful combination, I instantly was just like, okay, I think that... you know, I found what's broken in the game. I'm going to keep playing that now, and I'm just going to shred every enemy. And this is like what's available for us in the beta. Now, again, it is important to mention this is a beta. A lot of stuff can change. But if I had to say one word to sum up the whole experience, that word would be uninspired. Because, I mean, a lot of people were very quick to make the comparison to Godfall, which I didn't even think about. To me, I was thinking more in terms of like Warframe, but I think Godfall might actually be a more apt comparison. It definitely feels like Godfall. And if you think about it, it's even called Babylon's Fall, which I'm not sure if that's intentional. I'm not sure what the deal was, but they're just like, yeah, Babylon's Fall, Godfall. It's like, no. Oh yeah, these are grenades, which basically are, it's a time thing. So it's like a time bomb. You get paralyzed, not paralyzed, but you move super slow while you're under the effect of those grenades. Let's actually just charge up the staff and do another beast mode. Boom. Oh, I didn't hit anything. That was bad. Actually, this bow is pretty good. There's another bow that shoots like spread arrows. Boom! 7,000 damage. Like, you just see the damage that I'm dealing with the rest of my weapons, and then you compare it to the staff, and it's like ridiculous. The staff just deals way more damage than anything else that you can possibly field. Like, a fully charged hammer will deal like 1,000, maybe 2,000 damage on a crit. A fully charged staff deals like 8,000. I've seen 9,000 crits with the fully charged staff. But, you know, that's one of those things. The game is beta, so it's like whatever, right? The balance is like a secondary thing. But ultimately, I just don't think that there's that much here. Even if you were to like, okay, let's just say you have, I don't know, 50 completely different, unique-looking levels, each of them sporting like a unique, different boss. There's not enough of a moveset, even with the different weapons that we have available, to really justify it as like a paid product. So that leads me to believe that potentially this is going to be a free-to-play game. And it is most likely going to be extremely monetized. Like, that's my prediction. I see a lot of monetization in the future of this game. That's what I see. Oh yeah, I can just like keep charging the staff once I do this. If I'm playing solo, I can just non-stop charge the staff and just destroy everything. And that's why I play bow, because the bow just generates so much energy for you that it's pretty friggin' ridiculous. No, don't do that. That's not nice. Let's actually run away for a little bit, get some points with the bow. And like I said, you'll notice that this level is already being a bit of a slog. It'll actually be worse if your gear's not up to snuff. Like, my gear is actually pretty good for this level, because this is a item level 40, and you're supposed to come here around like 30 something. I mean, you can keep grinding the level 31, I imagine, if you want to, but that can get pretty boring too. So if you were to come here with an even lower item level than what I have, you would be taking considerably longer to kill these enemies. But if you come in a multiplayer setting, it is much better. So, yeah. This is YouTube chat all over again. It's boring. Everyone kept saying, yeah, that's what happened in yesterday's stream, pretty much. But I just want to, like, give you guys a more concise opinion. But, yeah, this is, like, the thing. And I guess that you guys are probably... I should see this level through to the end, just so that you guys get to see the boss at least. Because there is a boss at the end of this level. Not that I think that that's going to change anybody's opinion or anything, but... And you get 5 potions, and you also get like 5 resurrections, although those are shared through your team. So if you come in here with a 4-player team, the 5 resurrections are shared with everybody that is in the team. So let's just try to get through to it to get to the boss. Are we going to spawn another wave? No, there's just this dude left. There's other weapons, like I said. There's a staff that can buff people. I don't think it can heal, but it can buff people. There's a hammer, if you want to do that. There's the swords. There's the bow. I don't think there's anything else, right? There's swords, bow, hammer, staves. And that's pretty much it. Personally, I thought that the hammer felt extremely slow and sluggish. So that's why I ended up opting out of the hammer as soon as I could. But I like the hammer as like a secondary weapon for the special attacks, like what we have for the staff. I think that the hammer there is pretty cool, particularly because you can have like 2 hammers and just like bash them down. I thought that was kind of interesting, but yeah, still not something that I would go like, oh man, can't wait, right? And again, it's like nothing that we see here is something that's particularly groundbreaking, right? What is this game like? What's the closest thing to it? Like I said, you can think about it like Godfall or like Warframe. Those are the 2 things that instantly come to mind. So this is the last arena of this level. So in here, things are going to start with a wave, and then after this wave, we're going to get a boss fight. I like the music at the when you're at the final arena. It's pretty good. It's got these like church choir thing going. I don't know. I like it. I think it's got a good rhythm to it. I'm just using the staff because it's one of the most efficient ways of getting through these waves fast. Okay, now the boss is going to spawn. Here's the boss. Usually whenever there's a boss, they'll keep spawning like ads so that you're not alone with the boss. I'm not sure if this is the same thing, but most bosses that I fought so far have been like that. And it's like, this is not the best AI you've ever seen, right? I mean, the boss is just slowly walking towards me. In the meantime, I'm just gonna fucking delete him. Like, that boss actually has a ton of health. And if you try killing him with anything that's not the staff, like, you're gonna struggle. But because I have the overpowered staff, and this staff is not even that powerful, that's the other thing. This is just a level 39 staff. But there, I deleted the boss in 3 shots of my staff. That was the boss. You didn't even see him swing his shit or anything. He's just gone now. We just had a 9,000 crit on those soldiers. And again, keep in mind, this staff is not overpowered for the level that we're at. This is only a level 39 staff, a green staff. Because there's also like epic staffs and stuff and blue staffs that could actually have like really powerful stats. This ain't it. This is like a regular ass staff. And we just deleted that boss in 3 casts. You didn't even get to see him like do anything. And the reason I did that is because if you as a melee go near that boss will actually shred you. The boss will just, because these bosses have like mechanics that screw over melees. They consistently stagger you, they stun you, and all of that stuff. So your best option is just like, hey, just stay ranged. Just stay ranged, and not only you're safer, you can deal more damage. There's no reason to go melee. Why would you do it? Boom. That guy's gone too. There you go. And that's that. That's a level. That's the most challenging level currently in the beta, as far as I'm aware. Beta ends tomorrow, and this is Babylon's Fall. Paint has more excitement than this. I guess that's why they gave you like this artistic filter on top of it. They're trying to capture that excitement of watching paint dry in a wall. Now, seriously, like I said, it just feels very uninspired. It feels like this was just Platinum Games thinking, hey, what can we do to capitalize on the, you know, on the multiplayer monetization thing. That's what this feels like. So this is our loot right now. As you can see, we got 1 blue item and a bunch of green items. This depends on how well you do. We also have a bunch of white items. Yeah, that's a lot. And basically, you press exchange all. That's gonna identify everything. So let's see what we got. Okay, so we have an armor piece here. Oh, finally, an update to my staff, a level 47 staff. That's totally not going to... Because, you know, I was dealing the damage that I was dealing with my previous staff. It was level 39. Now I have a 47. That's going to be pretty sick. We get a new sword. That's a level 47 sword. I'll tell you what, they give you tons of loot. You get so much loot in this game. It's actually insane. And so when you get to this screen, you'll want to select this because managing items outside of this screen is actually atrocious. Like, they didn't do any inventory management at all. Like, you have to sell items one by one with a, you know, with a little wheel thing that you have to fill in, which that's another thing they got to fix. But so you really want to do as much inventory management as you possibly can on this screen, because once you get to the next screen, things get way worse. Anyways, we're going to confirm here, and that's going to give us our upgrades, and then you're going to do the usual thing, which they're going to sell this, they're going to give us money. We have 76,000 of whatever currency we have. I'm not even sure what we can do with it. But basically, in between each run, what you're going to be doing is like, okay, now we're going to go look at our loot, and we're going to update it. So we got a new sword, right? We got like a level 49 sword. So we'll put that in here. We have a level 49 bow, but our bow is epic, so we're not going to swap that. We have a level 39 thing, so we'll replace that here. We have a level 41 shield, but it's epic, so I'm probably not going to touch that either. And then we look at the armor. We have a level 46 helmet, not touching that. We have a level 47 armor here that we can't ignore anymore. We put that. We have level 50 arms and level 48 blue ones. We'll get the blue ones because blue is actually pretty good. We have level 50 pants. We can't afford to ignore those anymore either. And boom, that's what our dude looks like now. And there's also an accessories thing here. Like I said, Gideon, coffin, all of that stuff. But overall, like, this is what is currently available in the beta. And my thoughts on it is, like I said, I cannot recommend this game in its state. I was suspicious when they showed that second video and they were talking about monetizing it and all of that stuff, and it just didn't feel like it was going to be a good experience. And turns out that I was right, unfortunately. You know, it's here's the thing. It's not that it's bad. It's just that there's probably, I don't know, 1 million games that do this. And in particular, if you think just like in terms of Warframe, like there's no reason to play this as opposed to I mean, okay, I guess there is one reason, which is I don't like the fact that Warframe kind of expects you to play every single Warframe in the game, which it's not something that I want to do. I just wanted to play my Rhino and have a good time, but the game's like, no, play more Warframes. But anyways, it's like, this is Babylon's Fall, which, yeah, I don't think this is why people, like, here's what you guys got to understand, right? Particularly, like, if any developer from this game happens to watch this video, which I doubt they will, but if they do, you know, I think the feedback is important, and it's like, listen, people come to Platinum Games to watch Bayonetta kickflip a fucking jet in the opening cutscene, okay? That's what people come to Platinum Games for. That's why I come to Platinum Games. That's what I love. I love the over-the-top shit, okay? I didn't see Bayonetta, or I didn't get to kickflip a plane into the air or do anything that is comparable to kick turning a plane or surfing a plane and then getting naked and summoning a demon. I didn't get to do anything like that. Or, like, you know, if you think of Metal Gear Rising, I didn't get to slice up a dude into little bitty pieces, into little bitty fleshy bits. I didn't get to do that either. If you think about Vanquish, I didn't get the fucking knee rocket slide into Time Bullet and then shove a rocket into the asshole of a giant robot. I didn't get to do any of those things. And that's why I come to Platinum Games titles, okay? I come to Platinum Games titles to knee slide, kickflip planes, and shove rockets up giant robot asses. And if I can't do that, then what am I doing? You know? It's just like, you know, it makes me a little bit sad because, you know, that's kind of what people expect out of Platinum, and this ain't it. And also this art style, like, I'm sorry. I don't know if people like this art style. I really don't. I don't like this art style. Like, I'd rather play the game with all of these filters turned off, personally. Like, this is literally just, there's a smudge filter in the game. Like, you guys probably can't see it, but there's just, like, literally, if you look to the right of my character, you'll notice something. It almost looks like your screen is dirty. It's a smudge filter. Come on, this is not an artistic choice. This is a smudge filter. Anyways, that's Babylon's Fall.